Oklahoma. There's the happy young man, the author of that victory. Boy, if they were all that easy, huh? Here we are at 142, and I think from the look in his eye, Gibbons feels that he has to do much the same thing. We don't know much about this Grasinger boy, although he had an older brother who was quite a wrestler for Oklahoma.
Yes, he did. Now, he's got to shut this thing down right now with a good match against a very good wrestler, because Gibbons gets on a roll after Kelly's win and the win by Gezi could put Iowa State way out there, and attitude, tempo make a big difference in the final outcome.
And Grasinger did make the first move.
He's got him tied up awfully tight right here with the chin and an arm. And now he's going to try to pull him down away from his base and then take the spin. To make that thing work, you need to be able to pull your opponent forward away from his base and then spin in behind him.
Well, down on the mat, you often see Gibbons pin the man's head and shoulders right down and then try to climb right around him over.
He's got a very good high crotch, very good move where he takes his right arm and comes across, stepping into the man in the high crotch maneuver.
You saw Jim Gibbons, Joe Gibbons' older brother, who's an assistant coach of the Iowa State team. Cyclones 9, Oklahoma 3 after 134 on a technical fall by Joe Gezi in the first period. Injury timeout for the Sooner.
That's when he reached his hand in to go for that high crotch, and his hand just came across and whacked him in the nose. So I'm sure he just got maybe the start of a bloody nose, but at least got hit hard.
That's Michael Carr, one of the Carr family. We had a sort of informal trivia quiz here a little while ago. Somebody was saying, how many Carrs have wrestled for Iowa State? Well, there are 3 of them in that family, but there have been other Carrs. How about Virgil Carr?
I heard Virgil just was named the head of the United Way in Chicago, one of the largest United Ways in the United States.
And
quite an honor.
That's right. And then somebody might remember, too, a young man who came down from where? North Dakota? Or from Minnesota? Steve Carr.
That's right. He was a 4-time state champion up there.
Yes. So I don't know if there are any other Carrs.
Back before our time.
State. It's Iowa State against Oklahoma. 2 Gibbons and an Anderson. They're having a conversation. Here comes Joe Gibbons back to the center of the mat against Dave Grasinger, who is a senior from Canton, Ohio. He's a friend of John Heropoulos, the 190-pounder of Iowa State. They know each other from the same town.
Well, Gibbons putting a lot of pressure on him here, but has not affected the offense that they need in order to keep the momentum. Now he starts on it.
2-0. Gibbons. Grasinger started a duck under and didn't finish it, or some kind of an arm drag, and it turned out to be 2 for Gibbons.
See, he has that same arm tied up, has the hip loaded up, but he's going to lose it off the mat, so he just can't get his near fall points because they'll be off.
1:20 to go, first period. 142 pounds.
When they came off right here in front of us, Doug, I saw that he got hit in the mouth and split his lip wide open.
That's the Oklahoma boy.
Yes. That was just kind of a counter to a drag. Grasinger started a drag and Gibbons re-dragged him. Part of that problem on that is that you don't get the upper body of your opponent down. If it stays up, then he can affect the same move on you that you tried on him.
Gibbons on the whistle. Goes into that tight waist. Roll by Grasinger, it worked. And he came into a double leg right away and almost turned that into more than just a 1-point escape.
Yes, he did. He came right back. Good, smart wrestling.
2-1, Gibbons leads.
Might be a good spot for Gibbons from Iowa State, because now he has a chance to get another takedown and build his lead a little bit, rather than staying in there fairly tight. Now, he has good movement from right here when he has that arm locked in. Grasinger thinks he's taking something away, but Gibbons is very good in this position. Just has to get freed up. He can't get free with his upper body. He's holding him in too tight.
We have 42 seconds to go in the first period. 2-1.
We're talking about a very powerful young man here in Joe Gibbons, and that power oftentimes is something that is deceptive to another person. Just very powerful.
People working for setups here.
This position that they're in right there was called a 2-on-1, sometimes the Russian tie, but you have to be able to be effective with it and keeping your man in. Right now, the man from Oklahoma is staying out toward the outside. He just got warned for stalling because he's not really staying in on the mat.
It would appear he was thinking defensively, and now Gibbons has him out where he can work.
He almost went off. His feet stayed in. He was wise.
Did he get it? No, no.
Did not have it by the time they hit the mat and the buzzer blew.
2-1, end of the period. It's going to be Gibbons' choice. He goes down. He doesn't expect to be here very long. We'll see what Grasinger does. They know less about him and probably about Ari Miller that Gezi just beat than perhaps some of the other Oklahoma wrestlers. I'd be happy to tell you who that was, but I don't know. I couldn't see his face.
Well, he stopped him with the ankle on the whistle, and now he's reacted to Gibbons' move by sitting in what they call a crab position. But he doesn't have the toe hooked, and Gibbons starts to slide his hips down and away. That's what's going to affect this escape.
3-1. 17 seconds of riding time there before Gibbons got out. Gibbons has 28 seconds himself. Iowa State 9, Oklahoma 3. Again, that arm drag try.
That's right, but he almost got the redrag going against the boy from Oklahoma because he just didn't get his upper body down tight to the mat. Didn't get him snuck in tight. Sometimes it looks more like a boxing match than wrestling when they start cuffing on the other person, but what they're trying to do is just get him off balance a little bit.
The siesta we showed you a while ago was being taken by Kenny Fisher. That's the way he prepares for his match. He'll come up at 158 pounds.
I think he'll need to be more prepared than that.
Now there's a point. This was a stall call against Grasinger, and it was worth 1 for Gibbons this time.
Well, even though it doesn't look like Gibbons is doing much, the other man is backing out on him all the time. It's very difficult to work offensive wrestling when a man's going backwards.
Gibbons is pretty much a straight-ahead wrestler. He likes to get in tight to his man. He is strong, and he can fix a man in position and try to work something on him. You don't see
here he is coming back at him again all the time.
There he goes for the leg. Oh. Counter, but Gibbons is strong.
He was wise to just recover to position, not try to force it. And then he scored his takedown.
6-1.
He needs to keep right on piling up points now. He's got a very good leg pry attack and a good hip tilt. See if he can get those before Grasinger goes out.
Out of bounds now with what to remain? About 6 seconds. 6 seconds in the second period. We have another period to go. 2 minutes long.
So now he has the leg now. Just take him back where there isn't a leg, and then free the arm. Score his 2-point takedown.
6-1, a 5-point lead without riding time. Gibbons has 42 seconds of riding. Grasinger has 17. A switch by Grasinger that was cut off immediately by Gibbons. He's loading him up for a tilt. Did he get him? He got 2. And again, Stan Abel gave a good imitation of a man having a heart attack over on the sideline.
Saw him maybe in the corner of the screen just throw his arm like, what are you talking about?
Near fall.
Now watch him. He drives him hard. He has an arm. Just pulls him back over to the back. All it does to be is stopped. Past 45 degrees and stopped.
And now Gibbons starts up. He has a cradle locked up now. This is trouble for the man from Oklahoma unless he can think of something fast.
He wants to crowd into him right here, push him forward, and when he resists back, then take him backwards. But he's going right with him off the mat.
Well, the official knows what the fans want. They say he went out of there to get away from a move, and he should be warned, but he went the way he could go.
He went the way Gibbons was pushing him, and that's very difficult to do. Usually you can't pick your hand up fast enough to put it out in front of you, and so you'll crumble, and as soon as you crumble, then the man takes you over.
He was lucky to get away that time. It's 8-1. 1:44 to go in the match. Gibbons on top.
And there's that little Granby again, but he just didn't have enough speed, enough momentum. You got to have height to make that work. As Gibbons puts pressure on him, if he gets the arm, that's where the hip tilt starts to work. Can't afford to give him your arm.
Well, I think when he gets to the edge of the mat and he sees that This is where I need to work and there's no room. Gibbons just rolled him out.
Yes, well, I think the other man went out too intentionally. Yeah. But it's very difficult to call because Gibbons has got so much pressure on him.
That's the Midwest tournament. That is a new competitor of the Midlands tournament and a very strong competitor of the Midlands tournament during the Christmas season. Now Gibbons has Grasinger pretty well flattened out.
Now he has the arm. Now you can see him try to affect some type of movement with that. He has the arm and he puts it back. Depends on what the man on the bottom does with his hips. If his hips stay high, you can hip tilt him. If his hips go down low, then you start to work another offense like that. Hooking the arm.
Less than a minute. And that's another penalty on the bottom. 9-1. We're right at the edge of the mat. It's frustrating for Gibbons because he knows he can't go anywhere with it.
Try to get that 5 or 6 point win now. You might have to see Gibbons start to let him up and take him down. There may not be enough time with 45 seconds to be very effective with it.
That's Dan Higgins. He's reading tonight's program. And it looks to me, is he reading it upside down? He's a talented young man.
He is going to release and take down.
9-2. It's a 7-point lead. There is riding time now for Gibbons, but he'd like to get a major decision. Maybe catch the man in a throw or something like that. That's going to be a penalty.
But it's difficult to throw when he goes backwards, just like it is to those other offenses.
That's a 2-point penalty, 11-2.
Right now, you stand the chance if there's another one, you lose the match by disqualification. So you've got to stay in and wrestle aggressively.
With 25 seconds to go. Yes, that's a big thing because it would be a 6-point team victory.
Now he's in on the carry. Gibbons has got his hips down low, so he can't be effective with it. Gibbons
is going to, if he has any time, is going to be out of this one and probably come around.
He's trying to tie up the arm, see if he can't get the takedown.
2 seconds, 1. And it is a major decision with the riding time. It's 12-2 for Gibbons. 4 points go up on the Iowa State board. And that makes it 13 for the Cyclones and 3 for Oklahoma. And my own opinion is they're going to need them when they get a couple of weights up. And here comes a very big match at 150.